Hello, welcome to day 127 of Daily Bread. We'll be reading Numbers chapter 22, 2 Kings chapter 12, Psalms 124, Proverbs 7, and from the book of Acts chapter 24. We'll begin the scriptures, 2009 version. Numbers, chapter 22 on page 166. And the children of Israel set out and camped in the desert plains of Moab, beyond the Jordan of Jericho. And Balak, son of Zippor, saw that all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people, because they were many, and Moab was in dread because of the children of Israel. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, now this company is licking up all that is around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field. Now Balak, son of Zippor, was sovereign of the Moabites at that time. And he sent messengers to Biliam, son of Beor, at Pethor, which is near the river in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying, see, a people have come from Mizraim. See, they have covered the surface of the land and are settling next to me. Now, please come at once. Curse this people for me, for they are too strong for me. It might be that I strike them and drive them out of the land, for I know that he whom you blessed is blessed, and he whom is cursed is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian left with the fees of divination in their hand, and they came to Biliam, and spoke the words of Balak to him. And he said to them, spend the night here, and I shall bring back word to you, as Yahweh speaks to me. So the heads of Moab stayed in Biliam. And Elohim came to Biliam and said, who are these men with you? And Biliam said to Elohim, Balak, son of Zippor, sovereign of Moab, has sent to me, saying, see, the people have come up out of Mizraim and covered the surface of the land. Come now, curse them for me. It might be that I am able to fight it against them and drive them out. And Elohim said to Biliam, do not go with them. You do not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Biliam rose in the morning and said to the heads of Balak, go back to your land, for Yahweh has refused to allow me to go with you. And the heads of Moab arose and went to Balak and said, Biliam refuses to come with us. Then Balak again sent heads, more numerous and more esteemed than they. And they came to Biliam and said this is what Balak, son of Zippor, said, do not be withheld from coming to me, please, for I esteem you very greatly, and whatever you say to me, I do. Therefore, please come, curse this people for me. And Biliam answered and said to the servants of Balak, though Balak were to give me his house, filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yahweh my Elohim, to do less or more. And now, please, so you stay here tonight, and let me find out what more Yahweh says to me. And Elohim came to Biliam at night, and said to him, if the men come to call you, rise and go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, you do. And Biliam rose in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and went with the heads of Moab. But the displeasure of Elohim burned because he went, and the messenger of Yahweh stationed himself in the way as an adversary against him. And he was riding and he was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. And the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field. So Bileam struck the donkey to turn back onto the way. Then the messenger of Yahweh stood in the narrow passage between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side. And when the donkey saw that the messenger of Yahweh, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Bileam's foot against the wall, so he struck her again. And the messenger of Yahweh went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn aside, right or left. And when the donkey saw that the messenger of Yahweh, she lay down under Bileam. So Bileam's displeasure burned, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then Yahweh opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Bileam, "What have I done to you that you have stricken me these 3 times?" And Bileam said to the donkey, "Because you have mocked me. I wish there was a sword in my hand, for I would have killed you by now." And the donkey said to Bileam, "Am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever known to do so to you?" And he said, "No." Then Yahweh opened Bileam's eyes, and he saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell on his face. And the messenger of Yahweh said to him, "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? See, I have come out to stand against you, because of your way is reckless before me." And the donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, I certainly would have killed you by now and let her live. And Bileam said to the messenger of Yahweh, "I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me. And now, if evil is in your eyes, let me turn back." And the messenger of Yahweh said to Bileam, "Go with the men, but only the word that I speak to you that you speak." Bileam then went with the heads of Balak. And when Balak heard that Bileam was coming, he went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which was on the border of Aram, which is in the extremity of the border. And Balak said to Bileam, "Did I not urgently send to you, calling for you? Why did you not come to me? Am I not able to esteem you?" And Bileam said to Balak, "See, I have come to you. Now am I at all able to say somewhat? The word that Elohim puts in my mouth that I speak." And Bileam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Hursor, and Balak slaughtered cattle and sheep, and he sent some to Bileam and to the heads who were with him. And it came to be in the morning that Balak took Bileam and brought him up to the high place of Baal, and from there he saw the extremity of the camp. 2 Kings chapter 12 on page 395. And Yehoshua began to reign in the 7th year of Judah, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Shehiah of Beersheba. And Yehoshua did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh all the days in which Yehoshua the priest instructed him. Yehoda, the priest, instructed him. However, the high places were not taken away, and the people still slaughtered and burned incense on the high places. And Yehoshua said to the priest, all the silver of the set apart gifts that are brought into the house of Yahweh, the silver coming over, each man assessment silver. All the silver that a man possesses is his heart to bring to the house, in his heart to bring to the house of Yahweh. Let the priests take it for themselves, each for a friend, and let them strengthen the breaches of the house wherever there is a breach. And it came to be by the 23rd year of sovereign Yehoshua that the priest had not strengthened the breaches of the house. And sovereign Yehoshua called Yehoshua Yehoda the priest, and the other priests, and said to them, why have you not strengthened the breaches of the house? And now do not take any more silver from your friends, but give it for the breaches of the house. And the priests agreed that they would neither receive any more silver from the people nor strengthen the breach of the house. And Yehoda the priest took a chest and bored a hole in its lid and set it beside the slaughter place on the right side as one comes into the house of Yahweh. And the priests who guarded the door put there all their silver that was brought into the house of Yahweh. And it came to be, whenever they saw that there was much silver in the chest, that the sovereign scribe and the high priest came up and put it in bags and counted the silver that was found in the house of Yahweh, and gave the silver, weighed it out, into the hands of those who did not work, or who did the work. Who had the oversight of the house of Yahweh. And they paid it out to the carpenters and builders who worked on the house of Yahweh, and to stonemasons and stonecutters, and for buying timber and hew stone to strengthen the breach of the house of Yahweh, and for all that was paid to strengthen the house. However, there were not made for the house of Yahweh basins of silver, snuffers, sprinkling bowls, trumpets, any objects of gold, the objects of silver, and the objects that were brought into the house of Yahweh. For they gave that to the workmen, and they strengthened the house of Yahweh with it. And they did not reckon with the men into whose hands they had gave the silver to be paid for the workmen, for they acted trustworthily. The silver from the trespass offerings and the silver from the sin offerings was not brought into the house of Yahweh, it belonged to the priests. And Hazael, sovereign of Aram, went up and fought against Gath and captured it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Yehoshua, sovereign of Judah, took all the set-apart gifts that his fathers, Jehoshaphat and Joram and Ahijah, sovereigns of Judah, had set apart, and his own set-apart gifts, and all the gold found in the treasuries of the house of Yahweh, and in the sovereign's house, and sent to Hazael, sovereign of Aram. Then he went away from Jerusalem. So he bribed him. And the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of annals of the sovereigns of Judah? And his servants rose up and made a conspiracy, and smote Joash in the house of Milo, which goes down to Sidon. Sida, and Yozah, son of Shimon, and Jehozabad, son of Shomer, his servant, struck him, so he died, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amash, his son, reigned in his place. Psalms 124 on page 720. If it had not been Yahweh who was on our side, let Israel now say, if it had not been Yahweh who was on our side when men rose up against us, then why verse 3, then they would have swallowed us alive in their burning rage against us. Then the waters would have overwhelmed us. The stream would have gone over our beings. Then the proud waters would have gone over our beings. Blessed be Yahweh, who did not give us as prey to their teeth. Our being has escaped like a bird from the snare of the trappers. The snare was broken, and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of Yahweh, maker of the heavens and the earth. Proverbs 7 on page 735. My son, guard my words and hide my commands with you. Guard my commands and live, and my Torah as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding a close friend, to guard you against a strange woman, against a foreigner who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house, I looked through the window of my house, I looked through my lattice, and I saw among the simple, I perceived among the youth, a young man lacking heart, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And look, a woman met him, dressed like a whore with a hidden heart. She was boisterous and stubborn. Her feet did not stay in her own house. Now in the street, now in the square, in every corner she lurks. And she took hold of him and kissed him. She hardened her face and said to him, slaughterings of peace offerings are with me. Today I have paid my vows. Therefore I came out to meet you, to earnestly seek your face, and I found you. I have spread my bed with covering, colored linens of mistrum. I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of cardinal love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took a bag of silver with him. He comes home on a day of coverings. With her many words she leads him astray. With her smooth lips she seduces him. And he goes after her immediately like an ox. He goes to the slaughter. And as in chains a fool to punishment. Till an arrow strikes through his liver like a bird rushing into a snare, and did not know it would take his life. And now listen to me, you children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not go astray in her paths. For many are the wounded she has caused to fall, and numerous all her killed ones. Her house is the way to Sheol, going down to the rooms of death. On to Book of Acts, chapter 24, on page 1083. And after 5 days, the high priest Hananiah came down, and with the elders and certain speaker to Tertullus, And they brought charges against Shaul before the governor. And when he was called upon, Tityrus began to accuse him, saying, having obtained great peace through you, and reforms being brought to this nation by your forethought, we accept it always, and in all places, most excellent Felix, with all thanks. But in order not to hinder you any further, I beg you to hear us briefly in your gentleness. And having found this man a plague, who stirs up dissension among all the Judeans throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes, who also called to profane the set-apart place, and whom we seized and wished to judge him according to our law. But the commander Lystra came along, and with much violence took him out of our hands, commanding his accusers to come to you. And by examining him yourself, you shall be able to know all these matters of which we accuse him. And the Judeans also agreed, maintaining that these matters were so. And when the governor had motioned him to speak, Shaul answered, knowing that for many years you have been a judge of this nation, I gladly defend myself, seeing you are able to know that it is not more than 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem to worship, and they found me in the set-apart place, disputing with anyone, they neither found me in the set-apart place, disputing with anyone, nor stirring up the crowd, either in the congregation or in the city. Nor are they able to prove the charges of which they now accuse me. And this I confess to you, that according to the way which they call a sect, so I worship the Elohim of my fathers, believing all that has been written in the Torah and in the prophets, having an expectation in Elohim, which they themselves also wait for, that there is to be a resurrection of the dead, both of the righteous and the unrighteous. And in this I exercise myself. I have a clear conscience toward Elohim and men always. And after many years, I came to bring kind deeds to my nations an offering, at which time certain Judeans from Asia found me cleansed in the set-apart place, neither with a crowd nor with disturbance, who ought to be present before you to bring charges, if they have any matter against me. Or else let them themselves say if they found any wrongdoing in me while I stood before the council, other than for this one declaration which I cried out, standing among them, concerning the resurrection of the dead. I am being judged by you today. And having heard this, having known more exactly about the way, Felix put them off, saying, when Lysa the commander comes down, I shall decide your case. And he ordered the captain to keep Shaul, and to have ease, and not forbid any of his friends to attend to him. And after some days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, who was a female Judite Jew, he sent for Shaul and heard him concerning the belief in Messiah. And as he reasoned about righteousness and self-control and judgment to come, Felix became frightened and said, for the present, go, and when I find time, I shall send for you. And at that time, too, he was anticipating the money would be given to him by Shaul, and that he might release him. Therefore, he sent for him more and conversed with him. But after 2 years had passed, Porcius Festus succeeded Felix, and wishing to do the Judean a favor, Felix left Shaul bound. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.